Hi.
No, they're Pratt & Whitney air cooler.
And here are the people of the hour.
Yeah. I want to put my name on the plane. The plane.
I don't know if they're going to have
Bobby flown in this morning. I think this morning. And there's Carol. Miss Mammy waiting for. Okay, there we are with Homer Moeller.
Right there.
Emblazoned on the.
65th Bomb Group, 781st Bomb Squadron.
What's the first BG?
That's Bomb Group.
BG is Bomb Group,
And then
and BS is Bomb Squadron. There's, in the 15th Air Force, there was wings. We were in the 55th Wing, 465th Group, 781st Squadron. About 1,200 men in the squadron.
Empty weight. This thing was.
36.5.
Yeah.
We were almost twice that when it was
But
holding.
that's intense. That's 18.
Yeah,
that's heavy.
we were about 36 ton when we took off.
Okay.
Now, this rotates, not fully, but about 90 degrees, or I should say about 180 degrees rotation. And there are doors that close behind the individual in it. And when we get in, you'll see tracks where the shells followed to get to these guns. They're 50 caliber guns.
How many?
So we'll show.
Aren't they interesting?
This is an emblem for my bomb group, the 465th. And it's on there because the 465th donated. Two groups get their emblems on the rudders due to the amount of donations being the most. What insignia they had, I don't remember, but it would be different than that. Down south of me was what they called the Cottontail group. And they had white and blue painted on their rudders.
Say, Homer, I see the name of a Father Murphy on there. Would that have been a priest that was part of
Not
your...
likely.
You think he went into the priesthood afterwards?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because we didn't have any,
You
let's
didn't
say,
have
clergy
it. You
line.
didn't have it.
No.
Behind me
By
to
the way,
push
this
me.
plane was all in boxes at one point. They shipped it back from England. Well, it went to India after the World War II. The English gave it to the Indian government, or used it. And then after 28 years, an Englishman bought it, and then he put it in boxes and crates. He took it all apart. and
Over
sent
in
it to
India.
England.
And shipped it to England.
And then they shipped it to the United States when someone here bought it, this Collins, from the Collins Foundation. But this whole thing was in boxes.
So they've re-riveted and rebuilt it.
Yeah, there's
Rebuilt.
1,200,000 parts they said they had to rebuild and put it back together.
And it cost $1,300,000 to restore it.
When it was built, it cost $250,000, right?
Yeah, it cost
So what would that
$250,000.
be in today's dollar?
Oh, well, it'd be well over $2.5 million. Be an ammunition box, and you can see the ammunition flowing through the sea at eye level there, are what would raise and lower the guns, and then he turn it like this, and then he has triggers on each one, so that he can control where the turret turns, he can control the elevation of the guns, and when they fire. When it was cold riding back there.
Well, I would...
These are oxygen tanks. You'll see a lot of yellow ones in the aircraft. So at any time we were above 10,000 feet,
I'll be up on this bench right here.
How many of you will be on it tonight?
there'll be 7 of us
I
plus.
think I'll sit here with these are the
So where
seatbelts.
else will you be?
up
Dad's going to be up front and get to sit in his co-pilot seat. So he'll get to do that, but I think I'm back here in business class.
coach.
Cargo.
Do they serve you like champagne
Yeah.
and stuff
Well,
now,
I'm
Bob?
wondering if I'll even get the tray will come by or not. I kind of doubt it.
Oh,
With the macadamia nuts. And
there's really not a lot of room in
No,
them
no.
not inside.
because they're so completely
Yeah.
filled with.
These little green bottles
Mm-hmm.
are into it. This is an electric winch that lowers it outside of the plane. You can see this hinging apparatus here. And so it'll come down, and then it can rotate a full 360 degrees. It has 2 guns, 50 caliber, and this whole thing will rotate, as I say, 360 degrees. It has self-computing gun sights in it. So all the fellow in there had to do was to put into his sights whatever he was shooting at, and it would automatically lead whatever was necessary. So this was the electrical unit that raised and lowered. Up ahead here, well, they could, but it was pretty dangerous. We're going to go this way.
Would they go out these windows or out the bottom?
No, there's a hatch back. If they didn't drop it down, they'd go.
And otherwise, go right here and just
Kind of bend over like it. And that's what the bomb looked like. And it's hooked onto a rack, which you can't see right here. And that hook, there's 2 hooks onto this. And it's electric controlled. When an impulse comes, it comes from 2 places. Either from the bomb sight or an electrical switch that you can flip. And they'll release all of them at one time. It just opens the locks.
Is that bombs?
You'll see hydraulic lines, gas lines, control cables. There's a hydraulic reservoir here on our right. Here's a fire extinguisher. Now, if we move up forward,
Up in that right-hand seat where you see the steering wheel, that's the co-pilot seat up to the right. And either they'll have him sitting here on the bench and then go up when the plane's airborne, or maybe they'll even let him sit there while they take off. I don't know.
show
which
her the
they do.
top turret too, Bob.
Oh, well, that's just above you. You better you can come up and do that. But that's where he'll be flying tonight.
Let's see, Mary.
This is the fuel lines, isn't it, Dad?
That too will rotate 360 degrees,
Don't you?
and will quit firing, so
Shells explode.
you'll never shoot into the propellers.
Okay.
So that was the top turret gunner. This table here and chair was for the radio operator. And
So who did he talk to?
he got radio messages and sent radio messages.
What, back to other planes?
Yeah,
Or-
and back to the base. And the navigator would be on the left in front of the nose wheel. There's tables up there for both of them. So that's where 2 of them would be. The engineer would normally be right here or up on this flight
But did
deck.
the bombardiers tell when to drop the bombs?
Yeah, he knew. I'll show you the bomb sight up there.
Okay.
And it was an automatic bomb sight, one craft that was ever built. About 18,600. When Ford was building them in Detroit, they would put out one finished B-24 every 59 minutes.
And 1 an hour.
There's hydraulic lines and fuel lines. There's gas pumps all over the place up in there. And it was up to the engineer to look to see at his fuel gauges up here how much fuel was in each tank. And he could pump fuel from any tank to any other.
How many gallons does it?
Well, when we were fully loaded, we would have 2,250 gallons in the wings. Now, when they wanted to do long flights, they had rubber fuel tanks that they could put in here in place of bombs. And they could fly, say, 12, 14 hours easily then.
Self-sealing tanks, they had
Yes.
big black ones. Weren't they?
Yes, big black ones.
What was the endurance on the regular tank?
I really don't know. But I never had one that had to be replaced.
No, I mean, how many hours could you fly?
Oh, up to 10 hours.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
But you
as
said it
co-pilot,
takes how many gallons to even take off?
well, to warm up and take off took about 400 gallons. 200, 220 miles an hour, there'd be some wind. At 1,200 horsepower, I thought they were 14.
Well, you can. He'll be flying along the taxiway.
Oh yeah, isn't she a honey?
Slits girl?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you ought to have seen what was painted on them.
Oh, I imagine.
Anything.
The guys had their girlfriend's pictures on there, I suppose, huh?
Yeah.
Golden girl.
It's actually
Beautiful aircraft.
somebody's radio.
Oh,
Okay.
look at that P-51 Mustang.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, that thing is sleek.
that's the nicest airplane ever built, I think.
That and the 38.
Oh, that P-51 was a pretty quick airplane.
Oh,
Wasn't
goodness, yeah. They listed the top speed at 390, but it would do
it? Go way
550
over
straight and
that,
level.
wouldn't it? Yeah.
Everything along here was my squadron, and this Altop is the head of the squadron. You saw him in Tucson. And some of these guys, like this one I knew, and this fellow, this one I knew. So a lot of them. These were the names of the aircraft. Here's Dahl, the fellow that I flew with the most.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what are these?
These are crews that have
names.
donated how much money, Dad? What does it take?
$250 to get anything like this on.
And this was Dad's pilot that he was a co-pilot with. Here, his name's, I've met him before. He's a wonderful man. Lives out in California now.
Okay.
He's one very fine people.
Sorry.
This guy is the head of the reunions that
Oh, yeah.
Althoff. He lives out in
Palo Alto.
yeah, Northern California.
He's right out there by Stanford. He's just
Now, Dad, this G. Moeller, was that your cousin that's on it?
no.
Because I saw that on another one of these
Uh,
places. There's a G. Moeller, and I just thought maybe that was.
yeah, Massini and Fraser. I didn't know Jones, but now there's a Martz on here. This fellow got hit. He was a pilot. Got hit on a mission and killed instantly. They knew, it sounds gross, but they looked at him and saw the right side of his body was missing.
That particular one?
That particular guy, 25,000 turns a minute. There's a damper back here that you can control that will shut off the exhaust and pressurize back up to the engine so you can pump more fuel into the engine. And here,
That's, I can't
these
think of
cowling
something I'd
flaps
rather be doing.
are only this way while the aircraft is on
I
the
said, but my
ground,
last stop will be
and
here.
to keep the engine cool. Once you get in the air, you close
You
it.
will be fine. You will be fine.
That's the way
This
I look
propeller-
at it. This is the most well-maintained, one of the most well-maintained.
Has several ways that it can be called pitch. You can bring it out like this, you can bring it straight out, and if all three blades come straight out, it'll be what you call feathered. So there's a hydraulic cylinder up there in that hub that you can control, and so there's high pitch and low pitch. You want low pitch so the propeller will turn faster, and that occurs on takeoff and landing. When you're up in the air and want to pick up speed, you turn it to high pitch, and then you take a bigger bite into the air and you pick up speed. When the engines originally came out, these side vents were not on them. They found the engines would overheat. So they rebuilt the cowling with more air flowing into it. Now there's what they call a double row engine. There's 7 cylinders in the front row and there's 7 cylinders behind them. And the pistons are about 9 inches in diameter.
Well, they said
It's a 1,200 horsepower engine, Pratt & Whitney. It has oil on it, if you can believe it, a 15-gallon drum for oil. A little bit more than you have in your car. And even then, you can run out of oil. Sometimes that would happen. There was a leak someplace that would cause it. But if your engine was going bad or you got shot up and you wanted to not have it like this, because this was just like if you had a stone behind your wagon stopping you from moving. Turned as this,
In the early days, I guess the 50s,
the engine wasn't running, it would cause a drag.
that was on there.
So to eliminate that drag, you'd full feather it to 90 degrees forward,
And they landed.
and then it would rotate a little bit, but
Oh, they were
it wouldn't
gone, yeah.
drag
They
you
died.
backwards.
They're on there. The door came open.
Oh, you can see here, this would be where the hydraulic is coming into the system. On top of this is a rubber inner tube. On top of that inner tube is wooden blocks, about that wide and about that long. And when you step on the brake, which is the top part of the rudder, you pump hydraulic fluid through here into that inner tube, expands, and the blocks come out and touch this brake drum.
And that's,
that's
how
the way
you
you stop.
Wooden blocks stop you. Now, that's not all that comfortable. Why wouldn't they heat up? I mean, wouldn't wood?
You had to be careful that you didn't overheat them. You'd burn them up.
But certainly there were other materials that had a higher.
Well, they didn't have asbestos at that time that you could impregnate into it.
So what was it, oak or what kind of wood?
Yeah, an oak type.
solid.
Solid.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
when you were co-pilot, Dad, your job was to come out and inspect the plane before takeoff, right?
Right.
Weren't you? What would you do? What would you look at first
Well,
when you came out?
Kick
We
the
go and
tires.
Look at the engine.
Check the
Go over
dipstick.
engines. And then look for any oil leaks, gas leaks, low
And at
tire.
one point you found something wrong, didn't you, with the
I
plane?
don't remember.
Oh, seemed like it.
No, I'm sure you did.
So, in essence, the general inspection of the aircraft, the pilot was the only one that could say, I will not fly this plane.
Donation, very large donation.
But he had to have an awfully good reason.
Yes. But we were on one mission. I was flying with a fellow from New Jersey, and we were on the east side of the Adriatic over Yugoslavia. And we were pumping oil like crazy out of one engine. And I said to him, hey, we got to turn around and go back. We're never going to make it for that. So we turned around and went back with our bomb load.
They'll tell us to move, I guess, when we
Did you want us? Did you see his name or the doll screw up your mouth?
Yeah, he,
That's all right.
Wonderful. daughter.
Daughter? Well, aren't you the daughter?
I'm a son's wife.
Oh, daughter-in-law.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll just get his legs going on there.
That's just the number on the side of the airplane. I thought you called it something like Movavi or something along those lines. Well, the name of this one was 909. It was the famous one in World War II.
And there he goes.
Never lost anybody. So that's something.
Maybe. There we go.
You guys must be doing a lot of flying over a year's period. About 350 hours. You go after here.
Want to take a run down the street, grab some batteries? Just kind of hang out.
I want to go.
Yeah, what if they were up there? Homer said they were accelerated and ready to take off when they aborted it. So apparently it's spewing oil, she said. What a bummer.
behind it. All right, can we get that up again?
Yeah, I'll take a hint. Oops, sorry. I'll go in the back. That's right. Alright, I even lost me.
Military
Well, I don't know
personnel.
how they had, but you know, I think they were down in Mason City, and I think hard because you had to use your turbo superchargers to get enough manifold pressure to get those damn things off.
So what was your guys' altitude at that time, you know?
Well, our bombing altitude, our scheduled altitude was to be, our bombing altitude was 27,500 feet. And I'm not sure, I've seen on some charts that we're up at 26.5, and I don't know whether they changed it or not. But I know at briefing that day it was 27,500 was our brief bombing altitude.
Now, how many members of the Guard
Were you,
I got knocked out for good.
people can see that and learn that?
probably better, huh?
And I woke up about
Guard people have regular jobs in the community.
3 days later as a POW.
Hey, thank you. Not yet, huh?
Go on down here first. Okay.
Sure, the basic hours, I think, will be at 10 a.m. each day at open up. And on Saturday the 18th, I think we're going to try to go to 6. And then at 7:30, we're going to have a fire band concert and a fireworks display at Fort Snelling. And Sunday, we should be open from 10 a.m.
Thank you very much.
Nice talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you for being able to return this back to you. Wow, what an experience. Good. Woo! And the landing was so smooth. I suppose that has to do with the piloting.
Oh yeah, it was piloting.
Let's walk over here and see if there is such a thing as somebody with camera.
I definitely have plenty of footage. Okay. I was going to take and tell. It would take no more. There they are. Hey! Hey! Plenty of footage. Plenty of footage.
How did you get off?
We already did.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, it's coming through. We were here all the time. Through, yeah. Over us, right over. Was it any fun? Are you taking pictures?
Indeed, Mammy Bardette. This is live on candid camera.
Did you get your flyer position?
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Seven the copy.
There's some plexi small ones, but you know, it's totally open on the side.
Oh.
You can reach out and if you want
Did you
to.
see us wave ever to
No.
them? Now, what about the bottom where that cap was? Pearl is
Hardly. But through the A4 and the A5 Vigilante off the aircraft carriers. I'd like to fly them all. Looks like the entry three, folks. Still have time to go to the museum. She stayed open until 8 tonight. Supposed to extended hour. Yeah, my after's on duty there. One of those diehards. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our T6 booth right here at the Radiation Museum. Mr. Carl Knisley with Blue Ending.
No wonder. You know, the jets don't thrill me half what these do.